How do I stop being a people pleaser? So this is a question I continue to work through for myself, uh, where because I found myself basically trying to please others and finding happiness in that. So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with people pleasing, how it correlated to work, how it correlated to home life. And a recent example that I use that I'm pretty excited for, that I was able to kind of break past my people-pleasing tendencies and really stick to my boundaries, and you know contain my energy and not give it out to everyone else. So the term people-pleasing kind of came up for me the past couple of years when I was learning. I was at a job where I felt like I was working for everybody else, and I just wasn't really getting the payout I felt I deserved with it. I felt like I was constantly catering to certain managers, catering to certain people, to try to make do work for them that ultimately I wasn't really getting a whole lot of gratification for. But yet I acted in a way that it was kind of needy, and in a sense I was trying to please them and seek gratification out of that. And so when I realized how toxic that job was and eventually left, it was just really a time for me to kind of start self reflecting about what were the tendencies in my life in which I was putting other people's needs before my own. Now, there might be times where like you might want to put other people's needs before your own, I guess, but the real goal is to make sure, I've been learning to make sure that you can have your own cup filled up first before you start trying to fill up others. And so that's something I'm still working through, and I feel like it's easier said than done. But I did have an example of this happen to me recently where I was pretty proud that I was able to set some boundaries, stand my ground, and I guess not feel like I'm being overworked and overpushed. So I had someone that wanted basically to have their dogs sat. So they travel a lot and they have some adorable puppies, and I've been over there to help puppy sit in the past, and in the past it's been pretty stressful. Like, I initially when I was asked, I used to say yes pretty quickly. I wanted to kind of take that burden off of them, feel like a good person sort of thing. And after I was doing it, I found myself just getting really stressed from it. With them being puppies, it was a little tough on its own. But I also noticed that I wasn't able to keep up with. I have 3 dogs of my own, so I found it difficult for me to be able to keep up with just my own dogs in my own house and my own family life. And so it got to a point where they were looking for this person was looking for. So I guess at that point I was kind of frustrated, because I remember being frustrated and stressed because I had committed to something that I knew deep down wasn't really something I wanted to do. Wasn't really something that like. And I committed to it, but then once I got into it, kind of felt that I had overcommitted. And so that was pretty stressful. Fortunately, I for the next time around, after a few iterations of saying yes, after that iteration, I ended up I was pretty proud. They had asked if I could watch, and basically I had to say no. I couldn't, and I guess I could. I don't have the text on me, but I basically said thanks for reaching out. I'm not able to commit to this really anymore. At least full day watching sessions. If it's maybe like once a day, just go pop in and check on them. That's different. But like I was originally committing to like whole day events and like staying overnight to watch them. And so basically I said that I can't commit to that anymore, especially with the amount of work that I have just with my own dogs. So yeah, anyway, I was pretty it felt tough to write that and draft it and tell this person no, because I really wanted to help them, and I wanted to be there to support them, and also the puppies. So but at the end of the day, I knew it came at a cost of, you know, my own sense of well-being, and you know, and I just, yeah, so I ultimately had said no. They were, you know, they were a little disappointed, but they eventually were able to find some other sitters. And so but yeah, like for me, being a people pleaser, boy, I mean, I feel like I'm 35 now. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of learning to not be one. So it kind of like surprises me, like how many things that like I've done for other people that I've not necessarily wanted to do, because I've been, you know, trying to, you know, make them happy, and not really feared their rejection. And so I guess, you know, this is kind of like a habit that I'm trying to practice, is, you know, practice my own, practice setting my own boundaries and maintaining them, and, you know, really only doing things that I feel genuinely interested in doing. And so anyway, I wanted to just share that story. There was also a book, share that story about my experience trying to not be a people pleaser. I'm sure I'll have plenty more as they go forward, and I'll try to share some more tips and tricks as I learn them. But this was a book that my therapist had recommended. It's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, by Nedra Glover Tawwab. So I'm just partially through it, but already I feel like I'm starting to understand some of the vocabulary and nature of you know, what it means to set boundaries and maintain them. So and I feel like being a people pleaser you're more likely to be one if you don't have boundaries, and sometimes it can be hard to become aware of what those boundaries are. I know for myself, and a lot of times I don't even understand what the boundaries are until they've been already crossed so far that I'm forced to, you know, kind of retreat. So anyway, I'm enjoying this book so far. I'll hopefully share more in a future video. Let me know in the comments if you've had experience learning to not be a people pleaser, and how to, you know, or not being a nice guy sort of thing. I guess kind is the proper kind of term, the kind of the person you want to be, as opposed to nice and people pleasing. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on people pleasing, nice guy syndrome, in the comments below. And if this was any helpful for you, as always, drop a like and subscribe. And also, as always, much peace and love. We'll see you in the next one.